This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Partial Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Episode 109 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We are back with team previews after a 3-episode hiatus for
rankings.
Oh, there goes the puck. We're coming off our goalie, defenseman, and forward fantasy rankings.
Episode 106, 107, and 108. For those of you that are interested, that are about to do your drafts maybe, or doing some research on your drafts, those are the episodes where we put our consensus lists out there on YouTube and on all podcast platforms.
So Spotify, Apple, like you said, YouTube, anywhere you listen to your podcast, you'll find us, Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on socials. We're going to be putting up clips this week of those ranking episodes. So Instagram, X, TikTok at Partial Break Pod. Like, comment, share, engage. We love that. And most importantly, like and subscribe on YouTube as well. That goes a long way. There's been a lot of traction. The rankings are great. Everybody is into it right now. So let's keep that going.
We have a brand new wall.
Yes, sir. And we're going to let Vince tell the listeners how we got this wall.
Well, before Vince does that, just so you guys could see that we do have a brand new setup here going forward. So this is going to be our season 3 setup, where we have the table is no longer the V shape that we had before. We have a brand new brick and mortar wall behind us that we all
worked very hard
to build, and.
More additions to come.
Yeah, you'll see the progression of our studio over the next couple of weeks.
At some point, once everything is done, then we'll let you guys know who
by puck drop on night 1.
We should have
it should be complete.
Yeah. So it's a work in progress. I mean,
once everything is done, we'll celebrate our new.
We're just letting the brick and mortar settle a little bit before we put on some shelves.
The reason we're able to do these changes for this studio.
Yeah. So,
you were ready this time.
Yeah, I was ready this time. Yes, we got a sponsor, Boulangerie Patisserie Italia. Obviously, it's my wife and mother-in-law's business. So, if any of you guys are looking for cakes, bread, pastries, I mean, we're located on Jean Talon East and L'Assomption at 5496. Anytime you guys are pass by, you're more than welcome. If you don't live in Montreal and you do come to Montreal, I encourage you to come and take a look at our new place. We just got the new local December 10th. And
beautiful.
Any specialty cakes, anything like that. My wife, she's the expert, man. She went to Cordon Bleu, did her courses. So if you guys are just want information on wedding cakes, specialized cakes, you can email her at sisterlysweets.mtl@gmail.com. And once again, thank you to them for
thank you
for giving us a bit of the moolah.
Just a bonus thing about Patisserie Italia. March is coming along pretty quick. They have, and I kid you not, the best Zepoli di San Giuseppe there is. I'm telling you, I'm not
6
even.
months away.
I know, but if you're coming from out of town and
That's how good they are, Nick.
if you have to choose a time to come to Montreal from out of town, let it be
hotel from now.
Let it be March. Let it be March, and you taste those Dipoli di San Giuseppe. They're exquisite.
And something that tastes almost as good, Junior, is our PBLL listener league.
PB and Jam.
PBLL is our partial breakaway listener league. If you weren't paying attention during the promo, basically our listener league is set up. We are getting more and more people every single week that are joining. We had a handful join this week.
Yeah.
And Vince, why don't you tell them a little bit about...
Basically, the league, we try to make it as simple as possible, especially for beginners. You pick 2 centermen, 2 left wings, 2 right wings, 2 defensemen, and a goalie. The catch is you got to keep that under $35 million. So we take the salaries of the real NHL players. We take the real salaries, and you need to make it under $35 million. This is where a lot of ELC contracts come in to help. So you just have to do a little bit of research. And the kicker is that every week you can change your lineup as long as you stay under the salary cap. If you see that one of your top players is only playing 2 games the second week, then you can change him for another one. You don't lose him because you can always put him back on your team. So it's getting great traction. Like we said, we're trying to make it as simple as possible.
It's a pick'em league.
Yeah,
So basically,
exactly.
if you've ever played anything like daily fantasy leagues on DraftKings, promo code THPN, you'll notice that this is very similar. You pick all your players within that salary cap, like Vince said, and every Monday you'll be able to change your entire team, or don't change it at all. It's as involved as you want to be in it. So some people will just have teams and let them ride. Some others will change weekly because they want to try to maximize on performance for that week, or games played for that week, right? So the league every Monday will be able to change your entire roster as long as you still maintain under the cap.
And I think we have until October 6th.
We have until the first game of the year, or the day before the first game of the year. That's when we're going to close registration. So don't hesitate. I know there's still a little bit of time before October, but spots are starting to fill up. So,
And I know the 3 of us are in the league, but we're going to be fully transparent. And because the schedule is so important, the plan is to record Sunday nights. And I think it's going to be important we have a segment about schedule.
Well, we always do in the
Right.
wire.
So that they can incorporate into decisions.
yeah. So Monday we're gonna be live, right? Like Monday mornings we usually
Monday morning is
drop the
published.
episode. So as soon as we drop the episode, you'll have a chance to listen to it, see what the lineups are looking like, see who's playing more games, who's on fire, who's not, and make your adjustments before the end of the day, because that's when the league will start.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Guys, we're starting off
Team
Are
previews.
you ready?
Team
we are
previews, bro.
continuing our team previews.
Ooh.
We're doing the Atlantic Division, and we're starting off
Go.
with the 2 most
Habs.
popular teams.
Go.
Montreal
Go.
Canadiens and
Habs.
Toronto
Go.
Maple Leafs.
The 2 teams
Such a
people,
homer.
the two teams people love to talk about.
Well, love to debate about also, right?
exactly.
Like, this is going to be a fun little discussion.
We're
because-
skipping the over-unders for the Montreal Canadiens because we all unanimously said over for all of them.
No, definitely not. This is Junior being homer. Okay, Junior, who's in? Who's out?
All
Who's
right.
out
So a little glimpse into the offseason of the Montreal Canadiens. Struble and Dobish were signed to extensions. Maybe not so fantasy relevant. Depends how you see it. Joe Veleno was added to the team. Blais and Kankadin as well. But the big additions were Bolduc, who was acquired through trade, and Noah Dobson, who was also acquired via trade from the New York Islanders. Who's out? Well, Caden Primo's out. Emil Heineman is out. He was part of the deal that got us Dobson. And Mayu was the 1-for-1 exchange to get Bolduc. Also, the legendary Carey Price, no longer officially a Montreal Canadian, but you don't have to worry. He won't be suiting up for the San Jose Sharks
Definitely not.
ever. So that's what that is. The Canadians had the 21st best power play last year, and they finished as the last wild card, losing to the Washington Capitals in the first round of the playoffs, 4-1 in 5 games.
goals against, they were 22nd. And goals for, they were 17th in the league. So, Nick, this top 6, what's going on?
Could we go up from 17th in the league?
This could be a big, this could be a blender from now to when we hit November, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, like, we've spoken a lot about Montreal Canadiens' run to the Stanley Cup, or run to the playoffs, I say.
Oh, okay. Whoa, I was going to say, are you going back to...
Yeah, so we've spoken a lot about them and their run last year, which was a little bit unsustainable. Since Thanksgiving, they were looking to be a top 3 team in the lottery draft. And they somehow went from that American Thanksgiving, I think it was, and then they just propelled to like almost a 700 win percentage, which is unsustainable. So this year they're going to really need this top six to gel and gel early if they want to have a chance to make the playoffs. Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and Slavkovsky, that's one of the best trios in the NHL last year. But last year, they were pretty much the only trio on this team. This year, we have some question marks about what the second line is going to look like. And maybe some excitement, maybe some hope, maybe some real question marks at the end.
I think that's the best word, Nick. Question
Because
marks.
there's a little bit of what ifs here. So Patrick Laine is coming off a season that he was injury plagued. He had missed part of the season, right? He's coming in healthy for the first time, though. So Patrick Laine is there. Kirby Dach missed again another knee injury for Kirby Dach.
Can we say that you just named 2 loose leaf papers there, Nick?
Loose leaf papers. Well done. Well, Vince used to listen to our episodes back in the day.
I used to listen to. That's why we got rid of it, because it was just not.
Kirby Dach is a loose leaf paper, but he's coming in again.
Healthy.
Hopefully, right. Well, he's still recovering, but he's supposed to be ready for the start of the season.
Exactly, yeah.
The way it's looking now. And then you have even Demidov, according to
The golden child.
that's right. According to
Marco D'Amico?
Marco D'Amico, thank you. It's Demidov, not Demidov. But
It's even more exotic.
Demidov is definitely the golden boy when it comes. Like, if you're looking at this Montreal team in 10 years from now, you're looking at Lane Hudson and Demidov.
Zimidov.
Right? Those are the two guys that you're really
French
paying
accent.
attention
Zimidov.
Demidov.
I just did a little research just
Before
to
you get there.
go back on your topic as
Go
the
back.
top line of the Canadiens.
Yes.
Last year, they finished third as a trio in expected goals for, behind Terry, Strome, and Vetrano of the Anaheim Ducks, and Connor, Scheifele, and Velarde of the Winnipeg Jets. Just to your point of the only
They
trio. Well, there you go.
They were the only trio last year. Now, there are a couple of people that could jump into the top six
Say,
here.
Nick. Preach.
Zach Bolduc, the newcomer that you mentioned at the beginning of our team preview for the Montreal Canadiens, Zach Bolduc is somebody that could jump into that top six. Let's say if they want a little bit more of a defensive presence or a physical presence, if Patrick Laine doesn't actually, if that line is too defensively liable, maybe, right? So Zach Bolduc is, I guess, the first one up in my books. Then you have Alex Newhook. If Kirby Dach's health is still a question mark coming into the season, Alex Newhook probably has first dibs at that second line center spot. Now, I'm going to say as a caveat, but Martin St. Louis pretty much...
Saint Martin or not yet?
Saint Martin, yeah, close. Martin St. Louis had said from the beginning, that's Kirby Dach's spot, the second line center. So there's no question marks here. He said it. That's the way it is.
Yeah, but Nick Kapanen has been on that line in training camp sometimes.
All right, so we spoke about that a little bit when we first did this episode and then had to restart. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that they want to slowly integrate Kirby Dach back in, not throw too much at him at one shot, right? So
Nick, do you agree that with Zachary Bolduc as right now a third line, he is a better option to jump into the second line than we had all of last year?
this team looks deeper. You're absolutely right. It looks deeper because of these acquisitions, because of obviously Demidov starting the year.
Yeah, exactly. Demidov also starting the year, but if when Laney went down, it was Gallagher, Armia, Josh Anderson, Heineman, Joshua Roy. I feel like that even though he's starting on the third line, Bolduc, we won't be a one-line team if Laney goes down.
Yeah, I think that's well said. And another place that we're deeper is the defense.
Oh, preach. Younger, but deeper.
Younger if you take out Savard's 40 years.
Yeah,
old,
replace it
40
with
years, replace it
25.
with 25, Noah Dobson. Yeah, I guess younger is the right
There
word.
you go. You see? I told you.
Mike Matheson and Dobson look to be the top pairing. And ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty breaking news in the last week or so that we've actually seen these defensive
Training
pairings
camp
come
is
out.
here, baby. It's
Training camp
beautiful.
is here. And Mike Matheson and Noah Dobson, I read an article, I think it was Arpin Basu who wrote it on The Athletic, and he basically said that what Martin St. Louis is looking at is both of these guys are great possession guys. They're great skaters. So even though defensively maybe this line could be a little bit liable, if you have the puck most of the time and you're keeping it away from other people, then you don't have to play defense as
Like
much.
I hear the Montreal fans panicking. Is this bad for Lane Hudson?
Well, the second pairing is going to have Caden Gooley, who's more defensively responsible, with Elaine Hudson. So that might unlock some of Hudson's offensive capabilities. But I see what you're saying.
No, but
about
I'm just saying because I hear them. I hear them saying, "Why isn't Lane Hudson the first? Lane Hudson the first?"
I'm
pairing?
the first
Why-
voice
why?"
Vince is hearing, by the way.
But I agree with you. I don't think this is a. Actually, I think this is a benefit to Lane Hudson because he doesn't have to go against the top lines of the other teams 5v5, so he gets a bit of a.
So now that David Savard is gone, who's the veteran? The veteran is Mike Matheson.
Exactly.
Right? So that's that. Like when it comes to that, if you're looking for leadership on the back end, Mike Matheson is the veteran on this team.
Yeah.
Even Alexandre Cavier is a veteran, but he's more of a,
Yeah.
back of the lineup now type of guy. Mike Matheson is the type of person that's going to be here to lead, and Noah Dobson on his other side. I think that's a great pairing.
I think so. I think this.
I love Caden Gooley with Hudson together.
I think this is so beneficial for Hudson compared to last.
He's playing
year.
on his offside, but
Yeah.
I mean the guy freaking skates everywhere.
I don't want people to freak out and think Lane Hudson's going to lose all kinds of ice time.
No,
He won't,
definitely not.
because when in need of goals, it's going to be Hudson
on the
above
ice.
anybody else. The one thing I want to add on Matheson, contract year.
Yeah.
He's stated he wants to stay. Obviously, now that the Canadiens are trending upwards, everybody wants
So
to
let's
stay,
hope he
right?
sucks. No.
No, maybe look, he had so many boneheaded plays because he was playing too much.
Yeah.
And I think a little bit of that pressure will be alleviated being on a pair with Dobson. He might not have to do all the carrying and all that stuff. Will it affect his points? Look, he had 31 points in 80 games. He's not going to be that 50-point guy he was 2 years ago. But can he still hit 30 something points? Like, could he be a waiver wire pickup when in need?
I think he's a starter.
Yeah.
I think he could hit the 35 points, which would put him in the top 50.
In deep leagues and in cap leagues, it's a nice contract. It's a nice fit.
I mean, if you look at last year, Carrier, Matheson, Gooley, Hudson, Savard, Jacky. I think our defense is way
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
upgraded.
Yeah.
So I think this falls well fantasy wise for most players on the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah. And
Power play, Nick.
well, before we get there, I just wanted to mention Arbor Jacky is actually looking like he's coming into the season a little bit better. Won't be as impactful points wise, but it looks like he might have a spot on
Listen,
this
if
team.
if you're in a fantasy league where they count, where you're in a point league where they basically you go goals, assist, hits. If you need 300 hits, my friend, you put them in your lineup.
Yeah, well, that's it. Let's say you're near the end of the week, right?
Yeah.
If you're in a daily head-to-head league.
Like DPR.
Like, is DPR head-to-head? Yeah, DPR
Yeah,
is
it is.
head-to-head. So you're in a head-to-head league. You're down by about 5 hits. Pick up Arbor Jacky
Yeah,
and
of
throw
course.
him in there for
Penalty
the end
minutes.
of
Penalty minutes.
the week. You know?
Guys, before we move on, I have a question regarding Caden Gooley.
Ooh.
So last year, when Struble was on a pair with Lane Hudson, they were both. He got half. Okay, let me rephrase that. Struble finished with 13 points.
That's Fugazi.
Half of those points came when he was on a pair with Lane Hudson. Can we assume that Gooley can augment or increase his production just by being on a pairing with Lane Hudson? He finished with 18 points in 55 games. Like, Struble was not great offensively, but sometimes you're the first guy who gives Lane Hudson the puck. He moves up, whatever they score. But
The Struble Hudson pairing was a Fugazi pairing. It was
because they had good
Fugazi.
numbers,
Yeah,
that's
it
why
was
I'm asking.
Fugazi.
It was
Lower, lower the Italian.
No, it was
short
Fugazi.
sample size, but they
But-
had good numbers.
The problem is now if you're expecting Matheson to get points, Dobson to get the points, Hudson to get the points, at one point
Yeah.
someone is gonna have to
Yeah.
suffer. So
I was just
think-
asking the
I
question.
think Gooley
And-
right now, his biggest concentration is being the best all-around defenseman he can be.
And the fact of the matter is that we're deeper on defense this
Yes.
year, which means that you might not have Lane Hudson at 25 minutes a night anymore, which was too much to begin with, right? You might not have Matheson at 23 minutes a night,
No, yeah,
right?
Matheson
might
was
be
at
able to-
25.
so you might be able to spread this out a little bit more,
and make it more collective.
right?
I agree.
Like by the time they got to the playoffs, these guys were dead.
Yeah.
So
The good news too is now, because like obviously when you're deeper, you can survive injuries a little easier, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
PP1,
power
Nick.
play. Well, the top power play is usually your segment, is it not?
Alright.
Sure. Okay. Well, look, there's
Here we go.
nothing.
This segment's can take forever.
There's nothing official yet.
We were
but
making good time until Junior came.
there's nothing official yet. But there were 2 units practicing on their own,
Gallagher
which
was on
means
51.
absolutely nothing. But let me tell you what those units were, and it'll create the discussion. So we had Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Hudson, and Bolduc as one group practicing together power play drills.
Yes, Fugues.
The second group was Liney, Demidov, Dobson, Gallagher, and I'm missing someone here. Kirby Doc, whatever. Now,
Zimitov.
again, I want to repeat: these are unofficial. These were practices that they were doing on their own, maybe before practice or whatever. It wasn't like the coaches weren't on the ice. Okay, so whatever. I'm just setting up the conversation. But what do you guys think? A, should be the first unit, and B, who are the interchangeable pieces that you say if they come off to a slow start can be replaced by A or B?
You want to go first, Nick?
Well, I'll say that I really hope Nick Suzuki's on both.
Okay.
Because first of all, you need somebody to win faceoffs, and nobody else on that you mentioned wins faceoffs. Further to that is that I think Suzuki with it was Suzuki, Caulfield,
Slavkovsky,
Hudson,
Hudson, and Bolduc.
and Bolduc. So you're seeing a little bit of Bolduc is probably going to be that net front, that bumper spot. Slavkovsky is going to be the net front guy.
Yeah.
Because he's the bigger body, right? Then on the wing, you're going to have one Hudson. On the half wall, you're going to have a Suzuki. And then you're going to have a Caulfield on the other half wall taking the shot. So that makes a lot of sense. It does. But you're splitting up your power plays now. You're going to have Demidov with Liney. Both of those guys could play on the half wall.
But does that not sound like a bit of a lethal combination on the
It's-
power play
it's-
with time and space?
If you put Doc in there to play behind the net or even like...
Even in front of the net, maybe.
like-
They'll have Gallagher. Maybe.
He's so good at passing that he could find seams.
And he can make space with
He
his
could
body.
make space
Yeah.
with his body. He could be the bumper spot. And then you have Dobson with a lethal shot in the back end. Slavkovsky in front of the net. Like that sounds like both of these units sound like they could do something.
Okay, so you before we move on to Vince, you believe that it can be realistic to think that Bolduc cracks that first power play,
Well,
just from a logistic standpoint
Well,
of positioning and,
so
and
you could swap Slavkovsky.
strengths.
You could swap Slavkovsky and Bolduc on either pairing if you want, just to give you the same kind of big body presence in the front of the net kind of thing.
I'll get back to Bolduc in a second. I just want to hear what Vince has to say.
I believe that there are players that have specific roles on this team. Patrick Laney is not a player you have on your team to play 5-on-5. He's a player you have on your team to play on your first power play. Last year, in the short amount of times that you played, 15 power play goals, 19 power play points. So 15 power play goals. Caulfield had 10 power play goals. So Laney has to be on your first power play because that's why he's there. He's not there to get your goals 5-on-5. Caulfield, he can get your goals 5-on-5. My question is, can Caulfield and Laney coexist on the same power play? Because I would remove Bolduc from the first power play and put Laney, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Suzuki, and Hudson. The problem is Caulfield, Laney like to play in that same spot where the one-timer comes. So to me, that's my only thing.
You kind of saw it, and this is eye test.
Yeah.
You kind of saw it a bit last year, where when Liney was on the offside,
Well,
Caulfield was a little bit disappeared. He wouldn't score goals anymore. When Caulfield was there instead of Liney, and Liney was on the other wall, Caulfield would be the one scoring the goals and not Liney. You could kind of see.
Yeah.
So there's some interesting things to note. Is one, Caulfield was mostly the one that was moved. Liney was rarely moved, right? So he had to adjust on the fly. He's learning that new, right?
But you can't move
So-
Laney. Where are you going to put... If you don't put
That's what
Laney
I'm
on
saying. No,
spot,
that
exactly.
there's nothing you can't move Laney. I agree. Then there's the whole thing that Laney is fully mentally and physically healthy for the first time entering camp in a really long time.
As far as we know.
Okay, so it already seems, according to reports, that he looks quicker.
Yeah.
He's making jokes during interviews.
Yeah. So
He
I mean,
always
look,
was- he was always a
this
funny
is
guy.
all hearsay, and it's all like it means nothing until you see it in a game, right?
Yeah.
I just want to go back to Bolduc. Bolduc only had 12 minutes and 49 seconds average ice time, and he only had 31% of the power play time. Out of his 36 points, 12 came on the power play, and out of his 19 goals, 7 came on the power play. So he seems to have a bit of a specialty. Almost half his points come on the power play. I think this management saw something. A third, yeah, about a third. A third. Well, actually, it's just over a third. 7 times 321, he got 19 goals. Anyways, but I think there's something to Bolduc perhaps cracking that first unit. But I agree with you guys. You can't have a lethal shooter like Laine on your power play too.
The
Something's
good-
got to give.
The good thing with Montreal, and I mean, we're not going to talk too much about the in-depth power play, but the one thing about Montreal is this year is that you're not going to see Gallagher, Newhook, or Kapanen on those power plays like you saw last year because of injuries and so. If
Where they're a deeper team.
yeah, exactly. Like if Laney goes down, well, you put Caulfield there and then Demidov. And I believe Demidov will make his way to the first power play. I just believe him and Suzuki play the same role, so it'll be very difficult for them to both be on the same power.
So very quickly, I mean, the power play has to be better than 21st
Oh,
if
God.
the Habs are going to make the playoffs, because their penalty kill was very high last year, and we're missing 2 players now.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Players
so
that
Bless you.
at the end of the day didn't get enough credit for what they did. I believe Christian Dvorak was your number 1 face-off guy on this team. So you guys got to tell yourselves that every time we were on the penalty kill and the face-off was in our zone, 75% of the time Dvorak won that face-off. So we had a chance to just clear the puck and kill off 30 seconds. Art Bia was such a, especially towards like when they went on that run after Thanksgiving, him and Evans had such a good chemistry on that they took the shorthanded and they made positives out of it offensively. And I believe that's going to be missed. And I know St. Louis Jr., he said Suzuki and Newhook would get a bit more
Yeah.
look. Armia was a big boy.
No, they're very good penalty killers that they're going to be missing out on.
the
and
Evans
one-
Armia
and-
combo was
and
was
one guy-
amazing.
And one guy I feel that we're gonna miss also is David Savard
With the shot blocking.
with the shot blocking. So is this where Gully comes in and stamps his role somewhere over here, or Jaikai, you know? So
Carrier.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Carrier was always on the PK, so who's gonna be that guy next to Carrier?
Okay, let's talk about goalies.
Oh, guys, goalies, listen. If people are still questioning Montebo, I think there's a problem. As a number 1 goalie, you guys not think there's a problem? I think he's established that he can handle number 1 goalie status.
Well, there's one thing that you should know is that he played 62 games last year, if I'm not mistaken.
62 games, 31
62
wins,
games.
24 losses, 7
And
overtime
He
losses,
had
4 shutouts.
31 wins out of 62 games, which ranked top 7 in the NHL last year.
And they were going with 3 goalies most of the year because
No,
they
that was
could-
the year before.
No, it was Caden Primo was last year. Caden Primo couldn't get sent down, so they were going with 3 goalies.
They ended up
No,
sending
that was
him
the,
down.
That was the
after-
year before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That
was
was the
with
year
Jake
with Jake
Allen.
Allen.
Oh yes.
But nice try. It was a nice try. It was cute. It was cute. But Caden Primo did get a shot, and so did Dobesh.
Yeah.
Right? So, anyways, back to Montebo. We'll talk about Dobesh in a moment. Sam Montebo, his save percentage wasn't the best necessarily.
902.
Okay? Not the best. However, we have to take into account that he kind of went on fire as the Habs kind of started doing much better. And the second half of the year is really where the Habs exploded. So 62 games. If you're looking for a volume starter, I would expect Montebo to have volume again this year. And at a $3 million salary, that's pretty good value
So
for a 62 game starter.
you said down the stretch they had a pretty good run, right? Montembeau's numbers in the final quarter of the season, the last 16 games he played. 9 wins, 3 losses, 4 overtime losses. 2.55 goals against average, 908 save percentage. goal save above expected, above average is 350. He
And-
was a big reason. And he had 10 steals last year. That's 10 wins on his back.
Yes.
That's 20 points on his back.
And I think his goals above expected.
26.95. Goal saved above expected?
Yeah.
Yeah, 26.95.
That's top 10 in the league.
Top 10 in the league. He look, to Vince's point, he's underappreciated because it's 3 consecutive years he has over 50% of quality starts.
Yes.
It's not that's not like you think, oh, starting goalie naturally he'll get 50% quality starts. No, it's not like that in the NHL.
No. And it's very surprising because this guy was a waiver claim
Yeah, from the Florida Panthers.
from the Florida Panthers.
Don't say it.
Marc Bergevin, diamond in the rough.
Was it Mark Bishop?
He sure was.
Really?
It sure was.
I thought
Vince's
it was
favorite.
Wow.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
He also did the Suzuki trade, right?
Okay.
Are we ready for some?
So to the billions, millions, and billions and trillions of fans who are waiting for this segment.
You went this way, that way, that way.
That's why.
We are back. Ladies and gentlemen, we had some technical difficulties, so we're just going to continue the rest of this podcast virtually as the new studio, there's some wires crossing. There's some things going on there. The brick and mortar in the background is looking pretty, but sometimes we might have put a little bit too much mortar on one of the wires that was there.
Yeah.
So
I think the wires were crossing in our head more than.
maybe they were crossing in our head. But let's continue with the over-unders, guys, because we were right in there.
All right, so here we go. For the trillions and billions and millions of people who are waiting for this segment of over-unders for the Montreal Canadiens. These are exciting ones.
Over.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, ça sent la coupe. Okay, first one. Nick. Cole Caulfield. 39.5 goals. Does he finally reach that 40-mark goal this year?
So I don't know if it's my internet that's lagging a bit, so hopefully I don't sound like a robot out there. But I'm going to go slightly over.
Slightly. So he hits 40. Nick, he hits 40?
Yes,
I
he
was
hits
like,
40.
Okay. I'm like, okay. Okay, Junior, you?
slightly under. Deeper
Oh.
team, less responsibility, maybe like less pressure on them to. Yeah, it's a deeper team, so I think the wealth will be spread out a little more, but
Yeah,
slightly under. Yeah, he'll hit 35 for sure.
I feel it's all going to be, with him, it's all going to be on that power play. Where they put him on the power play, and if they put him at that bumper spot on the power play, can he adapt well to score from there? So I think it's all the adaptation on that power play and what players he's going to put out there. So that'll be important.
Well,
Next.
you mentioned something prior when we
Nick.
were talking about power plays. You mentioned something very important, is that, is it Laine or is it Caulfield? Because they both seem to play the same role. So, you're kind of saying to yourself, well, are they both going to take a little hit, It's
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly. It'll be an interesting beginning of the season, that's for sure. Now, to the player who there's still some doubters that don't believe he's a point-per-game player, Mr. Nick Suzuki. Will he get 82.5 points, over or under?
Listen here, Bodicole. He's an over.
Last year, he hit 89 points last year.
89 points. I can see him hovering around that 89 to 90 points again this year.
Nice. Junior?
He's hitting 90. He's hitting 90. Smash the
He's
over.
hitting that. Wow. You guys are courageous. All right. For one guy that I think I'm really going to have a close eye on him this year, just because I believe this has to be his breakout season. This has to be when he kicks the door down and says, I can be that number one line power forward. Slavkowski. Will he get 25.5 goals? So will he get over or under 25.5 goals? Last year, I have it right here. Last year, he had 18 goals. 133 shots.
I'm going to say 25 on the dot.
25 on the dot.
Yeah, 25 and maybe 35 assists for a nice 60-point season. That's going to be a step up from where he was last year. And at the same time, 25 goals is not something to sneeze at in the NHL.
No,
It's a nice step in his development.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
We need a
And
progressive step from him. That's for sure.
Nick, I have him at 24 goals, 36 assists, 60 points.
You're wrong, Junior. It's 25 goals.
At least we agree on the 60 points.
We always agree. That's why we have to bring Vince
So
on this
Junior,
Yeah,
podcast.
you're
slightly under.
slightly under
Yeah,
also.
slightly under.
All right. And then for the golden boy of this year for the Montreal Canadiens, we've been waiting for him straight from Russia. He came last year, showed us a bit of that flash. Demidov or Demidov, over or under
Demidov.
55 and a half points. Junior, go first.
I'll go over. I think he can hit 60.
60 points. So maybe
Yeah.
a Lane Hudson type of. Listen, right now, if you go on betting sites like DraftKings or whatever, you'll notice he's the leading contender for the Calder right now.
The difference between him and Hudson, though, is he doesn't have to wait to be in the top six. He's already in the top six.
Hmm.
And he looked good in the like he got progressively better in the playoffs when the game is at its fastest, at its toughest. So he can hack, he can hang in there. So that proved to me that he's ready to be a full-time NHLer and that he can pull off. He's got the talent to pull off 60 points. I just
Nick.
hope he gets consistent power play one time. That'll
Oof,
help big time.
That's. I feel in Montreal Canadiens that's the number one question.
I don't think he will to start, but we'll see.
Nicholas.
Well, I think if any Montreal fans listen to this podcast, hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube because Demidov is going to go over 50 points this year. Is he going to go over 55?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So that's two yeses. Listen, I'm a homer for Demidov, so I say yes to also on the 55 and over 55 and a half points. Patrick Laney, if he can stay healthy, he says he's felt the healthiest he's ever felt in his life, in his career right now. He says everything is clicking, cylinders are running. Can he get over or under 29 and a half goals? Nick.
I'll say over,
Over.
but barely.
But
30.
barely. So you're assuming, and this is on a full season played.
That's right. Sorry. Yes. Good point.
Okay.
You could tell we've done this a couple of times
Yeah.
already. Yes, 30 goals is based on 82 games. If it's less, unfortunately, we'll see. We'll see.
Junior?
Yeah, and the 2 seasons he played 82 games, which was in 2017, 2018, and 2018, 2019. He scored 44 and 30 goals respectively. So if he's going to play 82 games, he's going to score more than 30 goals.
Look at you guys. All right. I just don't think he can stay healthy. So to me, it's going to be tough to hit those 30 goals. If he does, then they're a guaranteed playoff team. So we're good. All right. So for last year's Wonder Boy, who came out of nowhere, people doubted him, just like I doubted him, giving him only 35 points last year, barely. Lane Hudson, 60 and a half points. Can you repeat what he did last year? Nick.
I think he can, but I'm more interested in seeing how he's deployed this year. You're having a Dobson enter the fray. It doesn't mean they're going to take away necessarily from Lane Hudson, but there's other options now available which weren't there before. So that's the only reason that I would say that I think a 60-point season is very doable. I would be surprised if he could go all the way up to 66 or 67, 70. That's the only thing. I think that they're going to share ice time a little bit more.
Nice. Junior?
Yeah, he got 66 last year. They're deeper. I think they're a better team, and I think they won't play from behind as much. So I still think he'll get 60, between 60 and 65. So I'm going to go over, but I don't know if he's going to hit that 66. This year will prove to me if he's going to be if we're going to start thinking about him at the Quinn Hughes levels and Makar possibly, or if he's in between there, closer to maybe Bouchard in terms of total points and not goals. This will determine which tier he falls into
Yeah.
permanently. Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I think teams have a whole year of tape to see on Hudson now, so they can study him more. So I think it'll be a little more difficult for him. His ice time, I think, will lower because he was just getting overused last year because he was the only guy that basically could make a tape-to-tape pass from the backhand when they were down a goal. So um, I'll say around the 60 marks. I don't see him going way over 60, in my opinion. Maybe even between 55 and 60, maybe. Final one for the Montreal Canadiens, the newcomer, the one who will take some relief off of Lane Hudson. Noah Dobson, 45 points. Sorry, no, 40 and a half points. Over or under. Dobson had one season of 70 points, and then after that, it was closer to the 42 and under 40. So, Nick, what do you tell me?
I think 45 is realistic. I'm looking at this player having played on a very very bad team. But to kind of mitigate that, he was also the most relied upon player on that team. So he got
Mhm.
all the ice time, all the opportunities. So I think it kind of balances itself out, and we're going to see a little bit of a 45 point. So in the median of that, not 70-point season, and not necessarily 35-point season. I'm going somewhere in the middle at 45.
Okay, so over Junior.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over as well because in what was a very bad year for him
Mm-hmm.
on a bad team, he paced for 45 points last year. He's on a much better team. I think so anyway, especially a better offensive team. So the opportunity is going to be there even without the power play one. And more importantly, for fantasy GMs, he's a double digit scorer. So even though he's not hitting the 60 points, in the last 4 years, he scored 10 goals, 10 goals, 13 goals, 13 goals. That's a boost in production for fantasy. So that's
But
someone to consider in the late rounds of your draft.
If
but
you
he
saw his
was he
slapper
was
today on
Yeah.
preseason in the preseason game in the third period, he had a slapper. It was reminiscent of some PK Subban blasts from the point. So it was nice to see.
but will those goals suffer if he doesn't get PP1?
He only had one power play goal last year.
Okay, so that's so you
Yeah,
still believe 5-on-5 he'll be able to score those goals on
Yeah.
5-on-5. Okay.
he's always been a good producer 5-on-5.
All right, so there it is for the over under for the Montreal Canadiens. I'm sure all the Habs fans agreed with us, and everybody else just says we're a bunch of homers. So it is what it is. But before we go to the bold takes of for the Montreal Canadiens, we just want to dip into the prospect pool because Nick, if I'm not mistaken, they were ranked in the top 5, right? In prospects.
Fronman or
Yeah, if I'm not as teams.
they were
I'll look
top
that up.
five in everybody's list.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they were top 5. So listen, obviously when I not mention the names, you'll know why. I mean, they have a top prospect in every position coming through. So they have Demidov, obviously the number 1 prospect as a right winger. Jacob Fowler, who will play his first full professional season in the AHL this year as a goalie, is their number 2. Then they have obviously Lane Hudson and Reinbacher as defensemen, as their 3. Hudson's not even named that because he has a full season under his belt. After that, he has Michael Hage, who just signed with the University of Michigan. So people are expecting a big season out of Michael Hage. This is a step-up season for him. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in the NCAA.
It's his
And
sophomore year, and the team got much better.
yes, exactly. And this is one guy, Nick. I think you spoke to us about him, Alexander Zarvosky.
Jarovsky.
Yeah, 34th overall in this year's draft. So, I mean, after that, I'll name you Oliver Kapanen, who has a good chance of
Hold
making
on,
the
hold on.
team.
Let's
Yep.
let's slow down and go back to Alexander Zarovsky.
Yes, go.
Very very quickly here. So Zarovsky, like you said, it was the 34th pick. For those of you who didn't watch our live draft, please go back and watch that 2025 draft. It was me and listener Mike Batista who had hosted that for 4 hours long live event on YouTube. Please go and check it out. and give it a like because that was a lot of work for us. But that was a really fun episode. Zarovsky, according to Pronman's list, by the way, Pronman ranked us number 5 in the NHL for prospects. He ranked Zarovsky our 9th best prospect, and had him as skating above average, puck skills above average, hockey sense above average, compete above. Compete was above average. Everything else was NHL average. So pretty good either way. Highly productive player. So in the Russian Junior League. So we'll see. We'll see. He has a potential to be a top sixer.
Okay, so there's 2 players I just want to name: Joshua Roy and Enstrom. Is like is Joshua Roy's time starting to tick down with the Montreal Canadiens?
So not to always bring back the Athletic, but the Athletic had a really nice piece on Joshua Roy and how his offseason program changed completely so he could play faster, leaner, and with more pace this year. So we'll see. We'll see because he does need to prove something here, or else he might be a career AHLer instead of NHLer.
And Junior and Adam Engstrom, left-handed D-man. I mean, if you look at our back line right now, it's pretty stacked. We got rid of Mayu for Bolduc. Is there any space for this guy? Because from what they're saying is he can be a power play guy, but I think we're fixed on the power play. So is he going to be like a blue chip?
I don't necessarily see him as someone who's going to bring you a bunch of points.
Okay.
I think he's a very good puck mover. I think he can handle the puck well and sees the game well. But I think his overall play is what really stands out. And from what everyone is saying, he's impressed so much in the AHL. They think he can play in the NHL to a limited capacity this year, but eventually he could be a very good second pairing complement, So number 4 defenseman. So look, they're stacked. They have options. Are all these guys going to make the team? Are all these guys going to play with the Montreal Canadiens? I'm not sure because they're still in the hunt for more pieces via trade if the right price comes along. So
yeah, and I feel,
but Joshua Roy, I feel like this is the year to make a name for himself because they acquired Bolduc. They're the same age. That tells me that they weren't too confident in Joshua Roy's abilities to keep going.
And one thing with Adam Engstrom last year, he had 27 points in 66 games played, but he always had Logan Mailloux ahead of him. This year, he won't have Logan Mailloux ahead of him. Basically, him and Reinbach are going to be the head of that pairing in defense. So it'll be interesting to see if he takes the bull by the horn and takes off with this. So it'll be something interesting to watch, and it's beautiful to see that Montreal actually has a prospect pipeline. When so many years ago we had absolutely nothing. So it's nice to see, and hopefully all these kids can, like, if not develop, but bring us something in exchange. So if some of them do develop and we don't have space for them, bring us a piece that we need to take us to the next level.
And to all the media members who said rebuilds won't, Montreal can't handle a rebuild. Shut up. It's over. Now you know they can handle it. And look what it's done.
He's so angry.
All these years wasted because they can't handle it.
No, all these years. Let's not get
the most educated fan base in the league, apparently, but they can't handle a rebuild. Go fly a kite.
I can't. Okay, we won't get into the GM's fault of this. Okay, so
no swearing, Junior.
Are you guys ready?
I didn't swear.
Hey,
shut up!
You
is
guys
not a nice
ready?
word, okay?
You're
gonna go in the red chair.
We tell all our kids all the time. Can't tell you better to shut up. Okay. Are we ready? Are we ready for the bold takes for the Montreal Canadiens?
They don't have to be stupid. They could be just bold.
Like, what's your problem, Nick?
First of all, when my stupid takes come in, we're having a party over here.
Oh my God! We're gonna freaking take down the wall and re-put it again. Okay, who wants to go first for bold takes?
I'll go first this time.
He's ready. He was ready. Go.
It's a team prediction. Montreal finishes top 3 in the division and makes the playoffs.
It's nice. Top 3. At least you didn't say they're winning the cup.
No, I already said Vegas is winning the cup.
Okay, yeah, but you flip flop like I don't know.
No, I think it's bold. It's bold because they're young and unproven. But if everything clicks, they've got some good pieces, man. I
Nick?
think they could make the playoffs top 3.
I also think that they have some very good pieces, and this is the deepest we've ever seen this team. What really scares me is that 2C hole. Is Dak gonna be back to being that productive center? Even if he's a 60-point center, I'm happy with that. You know, but he looks like I sent you guys a video actually from practice where he
Yeah.
was crossing the ice and Jack Eye almost hit him, but didn't actually hit him, and Dak looked like he was scared, like he was shaken up just from that. So it's gonna take him some time to get used to the contact again. Take him some time. That's why he wasn't playing in the preseason today. It's going to take him some time. So hopefully it doesn't take him too much time to get back into the saddle, because if it's not him, we don't have a 2C.
So what's your bold prediction, Nick?
I think that they're making the playoffs this year. That's my bold prediction. I think I actually think that's bold, because this team last
This
year
guy's boring, man.
My God,
did not. Oh wait, I had another bold take.
Can't believe you forgot your bold.
Oh yes, Montable finishing with more Vezina votes than Shesterkin.
Wow. So Shesterkin, Dostal, and Montembeau are your 3 nominees.
No, Shesterkin's going to finish 4th.
Oh, 4th.
Yes. Montembeau's going to have more votes than Shesterkin.
Okay.
It's probably going to be Hellebuck again winning. So we keep counting that guy out, and he keeps coming back stronger.
My bold take. My bold take.
No, you're coming up with it now.
No, I had 2, so I'm trying to see which one is bolder. My bold take is that Hudson and Dobson both get 60 points.
I don't think that's ever happened.
No, it's happened. I think Makar and Taves.
Ah, good. Nice.
In 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
That's bold, because considering the discussions we've had off air, you were like, that's impossible.
Exactly, it is. It was. Let me just check it just to make sure.
Okay,
while you're checking that,
yes, you guys recap everything.
how about we do a little final word on the Montreal Canadiens this year?
Sure. Okay, so you want to go first, Nick?
Well, I was just going to mention, if you guys follow the hockey guy on YouTube, he came out with a prediction that the Montreal Canadiens were missing the playoffs, and he had Columbus ahead of them. He had Washington ahead of them in the East, New York ahead of them, Detroit making the final wildcard spot. So that was his prediction. So obviously you take all predictions with a grain of salt. Nobody has a crystal ball. Everybody, injuries play a big role in this. But the hockey guy, it's going to be tough for the Habs to make the playoffs this year. They went on a crazy run, and I think that we all want them to make the playoffs. We all believe that they have the talent to do so, but it's not going to be an easy road.
Look, the management has done everything they've been asked to do. They're not finished. It's an unfinished product, but they're progressing. They're developing. Everybody who needs to be showing progress has shown it. I think maybe Slavkovsky is the one guy that this year we need to see him just dominate when he's on the ice. He's got the body. He's got the skill. We need to see him be more imposing. And if he can show that and knock in 24 to 25 goals, guys, they're trending in the right direction. That's as far as we can say. Obviously, things happen, but they've never been deeper, so they can handle injuries a little more. But like you said, Nick, earlier, the one position that they're thin at is center, and that could be the reason maybe they don't make the playoffs.
The key thing with this Montreal team is injuries. If there's one injury, they get injury, especially to Kirby Doc, to that 2C, it could hurt them a lot. And after doing my research, there has never been a pairing of defensemen in the NHL on the same team that's gotten 60 points or more in the same year.
So is that a
Makar
never have I ever?
20 in 20 the 21-22 regular season. Makar and Taves. Makar had 86 points in 77 games, and Taves had 57 points in 66 games. But they never hit 60 and 60.
Very nice stat. Very nice stat. So your take was bold.
Very
Oh
bold.
yeah, very bold. It was a never ever.
Never ever. You gotta give some life to these Montreal fans. We're already overly excited. Why not just like put them over the top?
I agree completely. Junior,
Ooh, the next team.
Yes, sir. Shall we do the DraftKings?
please go ahead.
Yes.
All right.
Producer Vince, you're supposed to know this. You're the
Yeah,
producer.
but I'm virtually. I don't have the thing next to me. It's not talking to me.
Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime TD props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. If you go on to DraftKings right now, the season is early. The trends are tough. We don't know who's who just yet, what the teams are, but you can have player props available every week. You still have future bets as division winners and Super Bowl champions. You choose whatever suits your want. You can bet it as long as you bet what you can afford. New customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778 HOPE NY or text HOPE NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois, void on Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Well done, Nick.
Thank you. I practiced that many times, and I was lip reading it now.
Shall
I
we
feel
move
like
on?
Britney Spears. The
What
halftime show.
happened?
Nick was trying to synchronize his lips to the audio message of the guy. All right, guys, we spoke about the Montreal Canadiens. Let's move on to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Ooh, the
All right,
mighty,
who's
mighty
in?
Toronto.
Who's out? Well, we know who's out. It's Mitch Marner, Ryan Reeves, Holmberg, and Pacioretty. The notable arrivals are Roy, who was acquired in the Marner deal, Machelli, Dakota Joshua, and Henry Thrun, if you think he might have an opportunity there to show what he can do. Other than that, those are the ins and the outs. The team seems to have lost a little bit of offensive punch, but might have replaced it with more depth. So let's look at their depth, Nick, and how much of that depth is really fantasy relevant, especially up front.
Well, we should start by saying that Matthews has been able to perform with and without Marner. However, Matthews, I don't think, would have ever gotten to 69 goals if it wasn't for Marner. Because talent plus talent, or elite talent plus elite talent, just brings you to a whole new level, right? So I think Matthews is going to be fine. I just don't see a 70-goal Matthews developing all of a sudden without Marner there. Now, who's going to benefit from Matthews having a healthy and full long season? Him and Matthew Nyes are attached at the hip right now. And Nyes is a perfect complement to Matthews because he does bring even more physicality to that line. Matthews is pretty physical himself. And that gives enough room for somebody like maybe Michelli, according to Daily Faceoff. Michelli is going to be on that line as the playmaker and maybe distributor of the puck. Now, Michelli has not had a lot of points in the past. He's also haven't had as much opportunity as he's getting right now to play with such elite players. So we'll see how that turns out. In the meantime, we have John Tavares, point per game John Tavares, coming back on a beautiful $4 million deal. So all of you cap leagues out there, please make sure that you are paying attention to that. John Tavares with William Nylander on the second line, and probably a Bobby McCann as well. Now, this is the deepest I've ever seen Toronto because I hated their third and fourth lines in the past. Here we have a possibility of Dakota Joshua, Nicholas Roy, Easton Cowan, maybe, Max Domi, maybe. Max Domi could move up and down the lineup as required. I just don't see him as a really top line player, but he could come in and spell from time to time. And that's about it. These are the only other guys that might have a chance to come into the top six. What do you guys think about that top six forward line?
I think they lost a 100-point player and did not replace him. I think that they're going to have a defensive system with the signings that they did that I don't believe they're going to put up as many goals as they did last year. Once again, you lost a 100-point player and you replaced him with Michelli, Roy, Dakota Joshua. I mean, and we haven't even spoken about the defensemen. Like,
we'll get there.
No,
Junior.
but I'm just saying we were talking about a defense in Montreal that improved has more players that can move the puck. I'm not sure we can say that with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I believe it will be a more structured defensive system, less goals against, but obviously a lot less goals for also.
So basically more of a playoff team now.
Yeah, listen. They built this team for the playoffs. The thing is, can this team bring them to the playoffs? That's
I think that's I think that's gonna be for sure. They have enough talent still to make the playoffs easily. Junior?
267 goals for last year, ranked 7th in the league. So I think they're going to lose out a little bit on that. Their power play ranking was 9th in the league with a 24.8%. I think that might go down a little bit as well. I think we underestimate the importance that Marner had on that team because of his underwhelming performances, if you will, in the playoffs. You're living in La La Land if you think that Dakota Joshua, Roy, and Michelli can make up for the loss of Marner. They absolutely cannot. They cannot. In the playoffs, different ballgame. 100%, I agree with you. You have a deeper team, harder to play against. That's fine. But in season, if you want to win the division, if you want home ice advantage in the playoffs, you're going to need a season out of the ordinary or an unexpected season from someone. And I think it's going to have to come from their goaltending. And if Stolarz can't stay healthy, they're going to have a problem because Stolar's numbers were elite last year, and we'll get to that. But in terms of top six, I'm not expecting Michelli to have a 70-point season. Are you? Are you expecting McCann to have a 30-goal season, 25-goal season? I'm not. Then you're also relying on Tavares to keep being a point-per-game player. A year older. So I find it'll be a very challenging season for Toronto. They still have a very good team, but I think they're going to have a lot of hiccups, and it's going to test the fan base a lot. They need to come out of the gate. They need to come out of the gate winning games, or the table is going to start to turn.
Machelli won in 2023-2024. The only season he played 82 games, he had 57 points. But even him, all the other last year 55, the year before in 2022-2023, 64 games. So
Yeah,
he's
he might be a 70-point player if he's playing with Matthews.
but can he, just like we spoke about Montreal, can he stay healthy?
Yeah, I mean
So
that's we'll see.
That's
I,
everybody obviously.
Yeah,
my question to you guys would be this: can Nyes be a 30-goal scorer without Marner on that line? I
I
really
believe so.
like Nyes. Okay, I have nothing against Nyes at all. This is not a question of putting shade. It's not me putting shade on Nyes. I just think Marner had a big impact on that as well. As
Okay, well,
Matthews is elite enough not to need Marner, but does Nyes possibly? Did Nyes possibly rely on Marner a little more?
I don't want to. Okay, so I want to be clear here. I think that your guys your negativity is coming from a fantasy standpoint,
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
for
and
sure.
not
It is.
and not for a team overall standpoint.
it's not negativity.
Because
It's reality. It's not
because
negativity.
last year, like if we're talking about last year, um, they had all kinds of points. Absolutely, they had Marner there. He was putting up points. Everybody was putting up points. It's great. Come playoff time, some of that goal scoring would dry up. The games would get harder checking. Marner is too much of a perimeter player, maybe, for the likes of this coach and this GM. And I think even the previous coach would say that there was a little bit too much perimeter play going on. So Machelli is a perimeter player as well, but you're paying him a lot less. And because of that, you're able to actually have a third line center, like a real third line center. Like Roy is a real third line center, not what they had previously. So I still think this team is deeper. I don't expect the fantasy points to be as high, maybe, for their top six players. But overall, team wise, I still think this is a very, very good team. And a team that will be fighting not for a playoff spot, but like Junior said, fighting for that home ice advantage. We'll see if they get it or not. When their defense comes around,
Yeah,
there's a couple of older players. And
a couple.
McCabe and Tanev are the older players, but Carlo and Riley, not so long in the tooth, maybe. Now, Morgan Riley had some interesting discussions with their general manager about this year, and he's coming into this year supposedly realizing that he's got to be better if he wants to be the top offensive guy on this team. And he's going to move the puck better. He's got to bring more offense to the table. So let's see what happens there with Morgan Riley. Brandon Carlo was a great addition, absolute stellar addition for the playoffs last year, and he's sticking around this year. So that's an improved defense from what they had started with last year. And then your third pairing with Benoit and Ekman Larson is a deeper third line that they had last year. So yes, they, like we said, they're missing out on that 100-point player that we're not going to keep repeating Marner as being the only freaking reason that Toronto was successful. All right, and they have a better defense, and they have a better third line. So there's things that are coming into play here that might still have them being successful this season. Maybe not as much fantasy wise, but maybe more as a team moving forward.
Okay, Nick, I'll do a quick thing with you. I'm gonna name you the top four pairing defensemen in that Atlantic division. You tell me if Toronto has better or worse. Boston has Laurie, McAvoy, Peak, and Lindholm.
I like Toronto's better.
Okay. Buffalo has Dahlin, Byram, Power, Kesserling.
I like Buffalo better.
Detroit. Chariot, Sider, Johansson, and Beckendocker.
Well, if Sandin Palka comes in there, it might sway me, but no, I like Toronto's better.
Okay.
Cider
I agree
Cider
with
is
you
a
there.
great big
Cider
piece.
is the
Cider.
yeah, exactly. But
Edvinson is a
But
big piece as well that you didn't mention, but he's
because
very
he wasn't
young
there,
still.
maybe he was injured. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very young still.
Forsling, Ekblad, Forsling, Ekblad, Jones, Mikola.
It's hard not to take Florida, man. That so deep. That defense is so deep.
Matheson, Dobson, Gooley, Hudson.
There's a lot more offense and a lot more puck carrying ability with Montreal. I like Montreal's defense better.
Montreal and then
And the average age of Montreal's defense is half of the one of Toronto.
Yeah, I mean different points in our rebuild, eh?
So, but
Like let's not forget
Jake
if you
Jake
take a look at
Sanderson. I have just one more team. Sorry, Jake Sanderson, Zub, Shabbat, and Jensen or Spence.
Shabbat, yeah.
Shabbat.
The higher end is better for Ottawa.
And finally, Tampa, Hedman, Moser, McDonough, Cernak.
I would say even.
So
the thing, Vince, is that
the-
like a lot of those teams that you mentioned that don't have that have maybe a better D, they don't have a Matthews and a Nylander on that team, except for maybe Tampa Bay.
Well, Tampa Bay, Florida.
But like the other
Montreal.
guys, Montreal doesn't have a Matthews and a Nylander.
They don't
Detroit
have a Tavares
doesn't have
either.
a Matthews and a Nylander. You know what I mean? So
no,
there's a
I agree,
balance to
but
be made, to be had.
I
or
agree,
whatever.
but with this Toronto team, the signings they made was not to replace Marner. The signings they made was to proceed further into the playoffs. I just feel it could hurt them in season, and that's where I was going. I think.
I think from a fantasy perspective, I totally agree with you that Toronto has dropped a notch, fantasy-wise. Again, I don't want Toronto Maple Leaf fans to think that just because we're talking fantasy here, that their team is worse off than it was last year. It's not necessarily the case. Now,
can I just add one thing? Because you mentioned how it makes them better in the playoffs. But from games after game 3, so from games 4 to 7, the Maple Leafs scored a total of 2 goals. Their moves are not going to help them score more than 2 goals in 4 elimination games or 4 playoff games.
You don't know that. Running 4 lines instead of running 2 lines might do that.
Running 4 lines? They made enough
at least
moves to
3.
run 4 lines.
At least 3. They didn't have 3 last year.
None of their bottom 6 had double-digit goals last year.
Yeah, last year was horrible. Their bottom 6.
So
this year is
you're
better.
Hoping Joshua Roy, not Joshua Roy, what's his name? Nick Roy. Nick Roy is going to score double-digit goals, which is doable. I think it's
Dakota,
very foreseeable for
Joshua, Roy. You're gonna probably have Max Domi there in the bottom 6, which you had him playing top 6 last year, right? There's an opportunity here for the bottom 6 to be better. I really do believe that.
Domi had less than 10 goals in the top 6.
So can we agree?
Put him in the bottom 6.
Yeah. Can we agree that at the end of the day, this team will go as far as their goalies' health goes? With Stolars and Wool?
Of course. For me, yes.
Because Stolars has played how many games here? Let me get it.
He won 21 out of 34 games. His numbers were ridiculous. He had 214 goals against average and a 926 save percentage. Ridiculous numbers. He just couldn't stay healthy. But he has to because he's got Tanev at 36 years old. He's got Ekman Larson at 34 years old in front of him. Jake McCabe is 32 almost. So like Morgan Riley's almost 32. And the only guy who moves smoothly is Morgan Riley. So they need their goaltending. It's the reality. I think they really need their goaltending to keep up. And that's not they have the guys in place, right?
Stolars hasn't played more than 34 games in the season. That's a little scary.
Well, that was scary last year too, though. I had mentioned that last year's game preview, right? A team preview for 2024-25 season. I mentioned that Stolars had not played more than 25 games, I think it was, at that time. And that's scary when you're looking at it. But I had more faith in Joseph Woll moving forward as the possibly 1A on that team. The only thing is that Woll can't stay healthy either. So now that's where Hildeby comes in and becomes an important third goalie for this team. And you know what, though? I'm not worried about Toronto's goaltending. Even if they have a 1A, 1B system, one of those guys goes down. Hildeby could easily come in and replace, and they won't even miss a step. I'm very confident in that defensive, in that goaltending. To be honest with you, forget the defense. In that goaltending, I think that they have enough depth there, more than Montreal. We have Montebo, and then what happens if Montebo gets injured? You're out of the playoffs. You're out of the playoffs.
You're not gonna like my bold prediction.
So
You're not gonna like my bold prediction.
Their 1A, 1B is a great combo. They have a really good combo of 1A, 1B, maybe among the best in the league. Like Wolves' numbers were decent, 2.73 goals against average and a 909 save percentage. It's not great. It's not bad at all. So, Hildeby's numbers, okay, small sample, they weren't that good, but no, if something drastic happens in goal for them, like in terms of injuries, that's when I think they might be in trouble. They survived it last year because they were able to outscore teams. We'll see this year.
You guys are way too negative.
And Nick, you said
I'm not
Nick,
negative.
and you said hillbilly, Hildeby. Talking about their prospects, they have some prospects in the pipeline. They have Easton Cowan that they're hoping is going to make the team this year, and he could be a player that could maybe jump into that top six if ever there's any injuries. Ben Danford, I think his development's a little slower than they would have liked, but he's only still 19, so he's going to be playing the OHL. Then, like you said, Nick, there's Dennis Hildeby. There we go. Got it. Hildeby.
It's not Hillbilly.
Who's been, yeah, exactly. Who, at the end of the day, doesn't need to prove anything in the AHL. I think he's proven that he's more than capable of handling the AHL. And then they in 2020 they drafted another goalie, Murphy, Akitamov, also 23, playing with the Marlies. So I mean that's where it goes with their prospect pipeline, obviously, because they're a competing team every year. So these are pieces they have to trade to get those pieces for the playoffs. So their pipeline being very thin is a normal thing because it's a competing team.
So I just wanted to interject. There was a The Athletic article that gave you a chart. It was a square actually, and in that square it showed you all the teams and where they are as a competitor, as a builder, and where they're heading. Right. In the next few years. So Montreal was not quite playoff team yet, but they were high up there in the ready to start competing.
Opening window.
So their window is right there. And then Toronto was just a bit under the equator on the right side, where it came to the maybe starting a possible decline. So it's going to be interesting to see this year how all of that plays out, because I think that Toronto's window, I think they're fully entrenched in that window, but maybe that door might start closing sometime soon.
Oh, it's starting to close already, in my opinion, anyways. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, for the trillions and billions and millions that have listened to our nonsense just for this segment. The Toronto Maple Leafs over/under. Yeah, I mean they're gonna be a little tricky. I think some of them. We'll start with the first one, the obvious one. The captain of this team, the leader of this team, goal scoring machine, Austin Matthews. Yeah. What's wrong, Nick?
I feel like we skipped over the power play.
You look like Dr. Evil.
Okay, we'll touch back on it after the over-unders.
We'll touch the power play after the over-unders. Because it'll go good with this segment. Because Austin Matthews is going to get over 50.5 goals. Nick.
Over.
Oh, by like closer to 60 or between 50 and 55?
I think he's hitting 55 this year.
55, okay. Junior?
It was 50.5?
That's
50
correct.
and a half. Yeah.
I'll go under slightly.
Slightly under. So you don't think he hits 50?
Is that because of health or
Nice.
like concerns about health, or is it really the Marner effect is that big
No,
for you?
I think he's gonna
Because in
have.
reality, it's not. But
I
for
think
you,
he's gonna have to use his lethal scoring touch to deceive defenders to open up space for his wingers. To
wow,
get more depth scoring from his wingers, he's gonna have to create the play a little bit, and I think it might take away slightly from his number of goals.
wow, that's really like projecting.
Yeah. I feel. I
I
Interesting.
do my
feel.
homework, I study, I
I,
analyze, I do
I
stuff.
feel they're not going to wait long before they put Nyes, Matthews, and Nylander together. That's just me. Okay, next guy. Matthew Nyes had a almost coming out party last year.
I think it was a
Um,
coming out party.
yeah, showing that he can play, could be a playoff performer. Also, he held his ground in the playoffs. So obviously, right now without Mitch Marner on the Toronto Maple Leafs, I have Matthew Nyes at 65 and a half points. Junior, over or under? So
That's like on the money.
yeah, I know. That's why I'm good at this. Nice. I'll just give you the stats for Matthew Nyes. Um, he had 58 points last year, 35 points the year before, so 2 years. So yeah, last year was his coming out party. 23 years old.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go over. I think he can hit
over
66
65 and a
points.
half.
Yeah, I think
Nick?
he can hit over 60, between 65 and 70 though. We're not going
Yeah, I
crazy.
agree with that. 67 points for me is right on the money for
Okay.
Nyes this year.
Nice. All right. And then for Goldilocks, the guy with the hair that everybody wants, William Nylander, over under
I had no idea who you were
80
talking about.
over, and this I think this is a bit of an easy one, but like over under 81 and a half points. So basically in 2020, 21, 22, he hit 80 points. Then he hit 87, 98, and last year 84. The one thing with Nylander is he plays 82 games every year in the past 4 years. So can he get over or under 81 and a half points?
Slam the over. That's an easy one.
Smash it, slam it,
Yeah.
smash it, wreck it. It's
Yeah.
over.
He hits 90
Oh,
points this year.
hits 90 points. So that's going to be he had 98 at one point, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, he had 98. Okay, good. All right. I think we put it that low just because of I know we keep on saying it. The Marner effect is the Marner effect at the end of the day. So,
But Nylander didn't always play with him other
I
than the
never
power
played
play.
with him.
you know,
Other than the power play, he was never on that line.
yeah, but wait, let me see here just to see. Yeah, but yeah, 12 goals on the power play, right? Okay, this is 2-for-1 basically. I put Michelli or McMahon 23 and a half goals. Are any of them gonna hit?
Combined?
No. Like are one or the other gonna hit over 23 and a half goals?
Under.
I see you smiling, Nick.
Under, man, under.
Both of them? None of them are gonna hit like over 23 and a half goals?
No, they might hit. I think they might hit close to 20. They might hit 20.
Oh, you gotta be a homer, Nick.
Machelli's never scored more than 17.
I know. I looked at their stats before doing
Last
these
year,
things.
McMahon scored 20.
Mm,
So I think they can hit 20, but not over 23. So I'm gonna go under. There's nothing wrong with that either, but
Yeah, I'll say under also. But Machelli, I'm not looking at him for goal scoring. I'm looking at him to create some assists. So you're absolutely right. I think that he is the type of person that could hit 20, and that would be his career high.
mhm.
And if he hits 20 on his career high, he might also have about 45 assists, 50 assists. So he could be a 70-point player, like I said.
wow,
Nice.
70-point player for
10 point
Machelli.
play. That's it could be a bold prediction that the man who kept his word and re-signed on a discount. Discounts we never get anywhere. John Tavares.
Some would call Dobson a discount.
Yeah.
Suzuki was a discount.
Yeah.
Well, Suzuki because he signed his contract before we knew the salary
Caulfield
cap
was
was
a
going
discount.
up $30 million. So trust me, they're regretting it now. But they're going to be UFAs at the end of the contract. But enough about Montreal. John Tavares, 66 and a half points. Over or under? I'm gonna go Nick first.
Over. Too easy.
Over? Too easy?
Yeah, too easy. The guy did point per game last year. He never played with Marner, and now you're saying he's going to hit 60. Like the guy's going to hit 75 points easy.
He also turned 35, Nick. They say
Okay,
once
so
you're
all of a sudden
35.
he forgot how to play hockey. He's 35 now.
Okay, so Nick, what happened in 23-24? He hit 65 points.
Okay. And
Okay, so
23-24.
in
How much did
in
he
80
hit last
games,
year?
74. But I'm just saying, you make it seem like this guy never hit. He hit 65 in 23-24.
Yeah,
Then
he could be
last
a
year he hit
70-point player this
74.
year.
He could, but this is why the over under 66 and a half. Okay,
70
don't say
points.
easy. Okay, I worked hard for these
Easy,
over-unders.
easy
Don't
70
start.
points.
If he doesn't get 66 over 66 points, Junior, this podcast, we're gonna write it on those brick walls.
Guys, I want you
We're
guys
not
to
touching
like
this brick
and
wall, by the way.
subscribe, all right? Like and subscribe if you agree that Tavares could hit 70 points easy this year.
Easy.
I got him going about 66. I don't think he's gonna drop 10 points just because Marner's not there, but yeah, I'll say over, but like slightly. He's like 68 points. He's around there.
Okay.
I don't know
All
about
right,
the easy 70 to be honest.
Yeah, Nick. I think Nick
guys.
is drinking
You
that.
might
Toronto
get it. It
Maple
won't
Leafs
be
juice.
easy. It's gonna be like game
Everybody-
82, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh no, we're gonna rest you for the playoffs."
Because the people he works
gonna
with
have
have their head
69.
offices in Toronto, so he needs to suck up to them. That's why.
Not at all.
All right. All right. Last one, and I think this is the one. I think this is the most important one. Morgan Riley. I have him 47.5 points, over or under. Because if he ain't getting it, Tanev is not going to be PP1 on that team.
No, I think that Morgan Riley this year is coming in as a man on a mission, and I think he's hitting that 50-point mark.
What was the over under?
47.5.
Ooh. I think he could hit 45. I don't see him going to 47. I don't think the
don't
power
think-
play is going to run through him anyway. It's going to be Nylander holding the puck mostly. He could get. He's obviously going to get points there, but give me the slight under. Slight. I think he's probably hits 45.
45. Listen, last year was the only. I mean, people thought crap about him, but last year was the only off year he had. I mean, in 2023 to 2024, he was pacing for 66 points. 22-23 was pacing for 52. In 21-22, he got 68. So in 2021, he got 52. He was pacing for 52. So once again, like in any other team, health is something. But I'm with Nick. I feel a bounce back here with him. He has no choice because if he doesn't bounce back, there's not much offense coming out of that defense except maybe if OEL. I mean, he's the only one that could be a suitor to come.
Listen, I kept him on purpose on my LPHL team this year. I really do think that there's a bounce back coming, and his contract is kind of nice for a defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see a lot of other defensemen that get paid a lot more and do much less points.
If he hits over that at that cap, that's really
Yeah.
good.
All right, ladies.
Oh boy.
So the over-unders are finally done for the trillions and billions and millions that listened to this. What is left?
All right, somebody
for
else talk now.
What is left for Toronto Maple Leafs?
You want to touch on that power play?
Let's touch on the power play. So obviously we're talking about Nylander. We're talking about Matthews, right? That's guaranteed. Tavares guaranteed.
I think Nyes is guaranteed as well.
I think Knives is guaranteed as well.
Their PP1 is playing a minute and 45 seconds. Out of
And
2
then-
minutes.
Then it has to be Morgan Riley as well as the point
Mhm.
guy. So really, there's only one power play line. There's no PP2 like Vince
No.
said. And that's probably why we didn't talk much about it. Because even if
Oh
they're,
no, that,
like they're gonna miss Marner. They're gonna miss Marner on the power play. I agree with you guys.
That's
there. But they
inevitable.
have
That's
so
inevitable.
much talent on that power play that they might not miss him that much. They might drop a few spots in the standings from the power play standings, I mean. But how much are they really going to drop with
They're
that
still
much
going to
talent
have
on the
a
team?
top 10 to top 12 power play.
what
The
I'm saying.
question I have is if Riley does struggle on the power play, I wonder if they try 5 forwards and put Michelli as the quarterback.
Could be. It's a
I
nice
think,
thought.
I think I would almost rather that than putting an Ekman Larson there, and that
having a
would
one
increase his
power,
points.
yeah, having a one power play line is not bad. I mean, look at the Edmonton Oilers. You got McDavid, you got Draisaitl, you got Bouchard, you got Hyman. Oh, you got nobody on
Nuge.
PP2, my friends. Nuge, so, yeah. So I think the power play is gonna lose a few points in the standings, but I don't think they're gonna be like I still believe this power play is gonna be the top 10 power play with the players that we just named. I
Which
don't see
means
them going.
fantasy relevance, my friends.
Yes, exactly.
Any
All
chance
right.
Cowan cracks the lineup?
I think he has no choice but to crack this lineup this year.
Well, you
He
think
has-
so?
Well, I don't think that it's that dire for him.
He's not going to be a
No.
He's
top,
not that
top
old.
6 if he cracks the lineup.
No,
so
but I mean, like, you were talking about the top. There's no one in that bottom 6 that can move up to that top 6 in case something happens.
Well,
like,
Domi,
Domi's done it. Domi's
he's done it before.
Yeah.
Nick
Okay, well-
Robertson, the preseason king. If they give him a legit shot,
Hmm.
like he's never really had a legit opportunity to show himself in the top 6.
Yeah.
Whether it was Keefe or Berube, there's something we're not seeing. But the guy, he works hard, he plays well. I don't understand.
We'll see.
Nick Robertson, truther. Look at that.
Yeah, look at him.
I dropped him this year in my league. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait any longer for him to break out.
He's bitter.
He gets
Oh,
no
we-
deployment. There was no way to keep him.
We just hit the hour and 30 minutes
All right, let's do the
for
good
this
stuff.
episode. So, bold predictions, my friends, for Toronto. And remember, we've got some friends in Toronto, So let's be nice over here, okay? Let's try to be positive, bold thoughts, and not like Edmonton's not making the playoffs this year.
That was Junior's take. Toronto misses the playoffs because they lost Marner.
Whoa! Don't put words in my mouth here.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
Junior, you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. It is a negative bold prediction.
course,
It's
of
not a
course.
team prediction because I think the team
Of
will
course.
still do decently well. I'm not on the hype train that Michelli's going to be suddenly a 70-point player. So my bold take is that Mattia Michelli will not beat his career high of 57 points. He's going to get really close, but he's not going to get over 57 points this year.
I think that's irresponsible podcasting. All right. I'm going to go with Morgan Riley here.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say that Morgan freaking Riley is going to hit 65 points on defense this year. Coming in, being called out by his general manager, coming in as a man on a mission, and without Marner there, I think there's going to be more responsibility on Morgan Riley on that power play to produce and to be a distributor of the puck. Morgan Riley, write it down.
That's a fantasy GM homer if I've ever seen one.
65 points.
All right, Vince Michelli under 57 points.
I'm gonna
Riley over
be-
65.
I'm gonna go with Austin Matthews score 65 goals.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think Austin Matthews is gonna be on a mission this year because of all this talk of the Marner talk that we're basically all having right now. That they're gonna
No, that
basically
Vincent Jr. are
downfall.
having.
That we're gonna. Everybody's having it. The
No,
experts
not
are having
everybody.
this talk too.
Vince
First
and
of all-
Jr. is having.
Okay.
That's it.
First of all,
And-
what is so bad about what we said?
Everybody's going down. The whole team's going to miss the playoffs. They're not going to be top
Just
three.
because they won't score as
No.
much, it doesn't mean they're not going to win games. They're just going to win games
Nick,
in a
I'm not
different
gonna
way.
lie. to you. I
How
have
do you
them.
take out Marner and expect them to be top 5 in goal
Yeah.
scored next year? Impossible.
I have them in the playoffs.
I'll eat
but I
my
have-
words gladly.
I,
but
I have them in the playoffs, but I have them as a wild card. I don't have them in the top 3 of our division.
See? You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
okay,
but I-
well,
but
you
you
know,
do?
that's
I have them as top 3 team. Absolutely,
No.
I have them as top 3
I
team.
think Tampa Bay is better.
You're gonna have.
Florida-
I think Florida is gonna have a hangover until December, and
Yeah,
then they're
but
gonna
I-
wake up. They're still
like,
gonna make the playoffs, but
they'll
they're not gonna
finish
be
the
top
third.
3.
I think Ottawa will be up there. I feel Ottawa is going to be a good team, but like I said, this is just. But I
Ottawa,
do
even
believe,
if Ottawa's a good team, they're still a wild card team.
We'll see. But I still do think Matthews is gonna come out. Is gonna come to prove haters wrong that he can score 60 to 65 goals. Doesn't need anybody to do it like basically an Ovechkin
Guys,
type thing.
that's a lot,
So,
man.
I know, but that's why it's bold prediction. You guys are all boring with your bold prediction. I freaking put it out there, my friend. And if any of my bold predictions come true, let me tell you, man, we
Yeah.
party.
They never will, just like your predictions at Mise au Jeu and NFL. All right, Junior, cue that outro music, my friend. It is time. I'm not sure if Vince lost power.
We really need to start. Okay, here we go.
Their name.
Vince lost something.
I don't know, because you're frozen on my screen.
No, my screen just went all black. I think someone from Toronto hacked my screen. I think I got hacked because I said Toronto was gonna be a wild card team.
Yeah, you're definitely hacked because we hear you speaking, but you're not moving on the screen.
No,
Yeah.
I'm all.
I'm
I
pretty
see a
sure
black
that
screen.
the podcast regulators out there realize that your take is so horrible that it can't be on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the black screen. It said someone on the black screen. You're a Toronto hater.
Guys, this was one of the most entertaining episodes we've had in a while, and rightfully so because it was the Montreal Damn Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
The two biggest teams.
Guys, let us know what you think. I mean, these
In
are
the
just
NHL.
opinions. At the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and we want to know what your opinion is of both.
Except
these
Vince, because he got hacked.
teams. We already know
I
what
definitely
their
got
opinion
hacked,
of
man.
his opinion is.
This thing just got out of control. It just went.
Have a good week, everybody.
Have a good week, guys.
Peace out, guys. And whoever from Toronto is screwing my computer, stop.